Fitzgerald centre stage. Well, it's been an amazing championship, capped by an amazing final, and for Cork it's been a remarkable year as well. Getting to the final has been an achievement in itself for an emerging squad and a proud management team. But it's about winners at this stage.
And Jerry, even down to the last ball, Jerry, Seamus Hardy won it again. A little flick the Cahill knocked, and I could have caught it and buried it in the net. He dropped it, ended up in the back of the net up the field. What an incredible game.
Let's go down and join Clare McNamara.
I'm with Hurling's new hero, Shane O'Donnell. Congratulations. What does it feel like to be an All-Ireland winner?
It's absolutely amazing. The first time I was on the panel and I get to a final, I don't even know what hard work most of the lads put in every year, and they get nowhere. And this is to them, it's to backroom staff, it's to everyone. Like, I'm the man that gets at the end of the goals, but like, it's a team effort to get goals.
Not only did you make it to a final, you scored a hat-trick within 20 minutes.
Yeah, well, the first two were absolutely given to me, handed on a plate, but yeah, it's the stuff of dreams. For the first 20 minutes I was in dreamland. You'd wake up and go, that never happened now, like, but I couldn't even believe it now, I really couldn't believe it.
And even right there, right into added time, it was still in the mix.
Yeah, just testament to Cork. Now, they were a brilliant team, they never gave up the ghost, like even goal after goal gunning in them, and it didn't faze them, they just came back, but thank God we came out the right side.
What does it mean to the people of Clare, people back home watching, the people here in the stadium?
It means absolutely everything. It's tough times all around the country, and if you can lift them with these kind of performances and these kind of days, like, look at the hill. It's absolutely amazing. Like, you can see what it means to them. Like, I don't even need to say it.
Shane, congratulations, a terrific performance. Enjoy it.
Thanks very much. Thanks.
Well, it had been a tremendous All-Ireland final drawn match, an even more spectacular replay. A total of 8 goals and 32 points in that match. Cyril Farrell, Liam Sheedy, Eddie Brennan here with me in studio have enjoyed every moment of that. And Cyril Farrell, I suppose, first of all, you want to say to your neighbours down there in the west, a hearty congratulations on their victory.
They'll be bonfires west of the Shannon. I know they're not in Connacht, but they were once upon a time. It was an unbelievable game, 5-16 to 3-16, until Derek Honan came on and got that goal. You know, these tennis goals. That full forward line, he got 5-5 from play today. Unbelievable, like. But the game itself, Michael, up and down the field. Hurling was the winner. I know Cork will be disappointed, Clare will be over the moon. That's a young team. But, like, it's the likes of Tony Kenny's and Sir Shane O'Donnell. I knew from the training that Fitz used to tell me O'Donnell was flying in training. And I knew they were going to put in, as the lad says, the full army in goals, even though it didn't work, like it didn't block him. But he had to try something. He said O'Donnell, Derek Honan had this kind of a grade 3 grind strain all the year. So, like, all these substitutes played well, but they only play well when you win the match, of course. Like, Cork still played well. But, Michael, for pure emotion, for pure drama, like, at 82,000 here again today, like, it's the greatest advertisement for Hurling. And, like, it's the greatest game in the world, but like for Clare tonight, there'll be no winter in Clare. Mark to be saying they won't drink milk cows. They'll forget it about milk, they'll drink the cows anyway. But like the thing is, down there in Clare this year, there'll be no winter because these are the new kids on the block. Like these are the future of as Liam was saying before the game, if Clare won it, they could be around for a long time. It's up to everyone else to get up to that standard again. But like, it's great. It's a breath of fresh air. If Cork won to be their 31st title, it's only Clare's, I think, 4th. I think, you know. So like, it's unreal. And I know like tonight they'll celebrate. They'll be over the moon. And I'm delighted for all the background team. I know Fitzy well. Look, he wears his heart on his shoulder. He gets involved with people at now and time. But like, these group of players would die for him. You know, they bought into his system, and like the whole lot, you either buy into it or you get out, one or the other. You buy into it, and these guys, like, you know, they're going to, if they're minded right and mind themselves right, they're going to be there for a long, long time.
All right, sir, and I think a few cows in Clare will be hiding in hedges for a couple of days just to be on the safe side. Liam Sheedy, I think we should say at this stage, congratulations to both teams, and pay tribute to both teams, because as Cyril said, you know, there has to be a winner, loser, and so on, but what a game of hurling.
Yeah, it was a fantastic game. I mean, you know, in fairness to Clare, they came and they got the early start, but like, you couldn't give Cork enough credit for what they brought to the spectacle either. I mean, with 10 minutes to go, Seamus Hardy brought the game back level again. In a game you felt that, you know, if they had to get the point up, but they could never get that 1 point up. They never got that 1 point up, and I think that was hugely important. So, full credit to Clare, absolutely deserving All-Ireland champions.
Right, Liam, and the president of the GAA, Liam O'Neill, about to make the famous presentation.
Our son Goctin an seo, agus our son Goctin atá féachand ar an glutha seo timpeall an down ar fad. Bhualan Buchas O'Cree, a goal a Corkig, Agus and Clare, Asantas Pointus, Untuk, Omaniakta, a Hugshi doing in you. Tres Liam O'Cree, Lesson Glor, Asan Bua, Untuk, a Via Akko and Shaw, Agus Bhualan Kovron, a Yen of La Corkig. Croig Shiv go Huntuk and you, Agus the Sulagum go make Turner's far, Ever Guidibra, and Cadorella Hagan Shivarash, Garmagav Corkig. Bhualan Buchas, a goal in our Nurahuri, Liberty, Centra, Agus Etihad, Agus Anisha Corja, is Kush Oish, Agus Anora Dumsa, Cornvic Carty, Avruna, Patrick Donnellan, Captain and Clare.
The Uachtaráin Liam O'Neill presents the Liam McCarthy Cup to Pat Donnellan as Clare are the All-Ireland champions, champions of 2013, they're champions for the 4th time. What an achievement. Davy Fitzgerald has done it with his wonderfully talented group of young players. Carnival time. Today's Clare players, they'll be soon folk heroes and legends, you can be sure. And right now the people are just overjoyed and you can see shaking with excitement. It's an enormous sporting achievement for Davy Fitz and for all the others. And what a welcome home they're going to get in Ennis tomorrow night.
On Carnshaw, I got there's on fire money, let's go down Clare! Today is a day that we need to see a lot more often in the county of Clare. We haven't been here for a long number of years, but I can tell you one thing for sure. With these group of players, Clare will be here a lot more years from now on. It gives me great honour to start 2 years ago when Davy was manager, became manager. He asked me to be captain, and for myself, it's a huge honour to be chosen as a worthy representative for the qualities that these players show. I think to a man for the last 2 years, there could be nothing but good things said about him. And for me and for the players here, we're so proud to wear the Clare jersey, and thanks so much for the supporters for following us here today. A lot of people to thank. When Davy comes on board, he brings a lot of people with him. So I'll start, but we've a huge backroom team, Our doctor, Doc Quinn, our physio, Diarmid and Mary, Amy McInerney, a lot of people who do a lot of thankless jobs, I suppose, of training. Like Tommy Hegarty, Tom Sackpool, Shawnee McMahon, Pádraig McMahon, Fergie McDonough. Who am I thinking of? Fahy. Natty. Our I suppose our inspiration, our performance coach, our team manager, you might call him, but a lot of other people to thank as well. Gazzy, I suppose he's a famous man around Clare. He's our kit man. He's I suppose, one of our friends around the dressing room, and the place wouldn't be the same without him, so hopefully he'll be here with us for the next 10 or 20 years as well. Saoirse Bulfin, he's a Limerick man, I suppose, but he's got Clare blood running through his veins. And I suppose all the saves that Pat has been pulling off through the year, a lot of it's good thanks to him. We've had, a statistician team. Mike Curry, Dinny Callahan, Mikey DC. And they provide all the vital statistics throughout the year. Thanks a million, lads. We had a meeting, I suppose, a couple of weeks ago, and we were talking about different things and what it meant to be playing for Clare and what it meant to wear the Clare jersey. And when I was growing up, I suppose something that I always associated with the Clare jersey was Pat O'Donnell. He's a fella that we have huge pride that he's involved with us. He gives so much of his time, his effort, you know, other funding and money and things like that to keep this Clare team going, and we thank him sincerely. Thank you, Pat. I suppose to our team management, I suppose our fitness and our conditioning is something that's been remarked upon as being very good throughout the year. And we have a man, I suppose he's scientific and he's a perfectionist. And he's a Limerick man, a bit of Kerry in him. But from next day on as well, he's an honorary Clare man. That's Joe O'Connor. And finally, I suppose, to the team management, we have 3 men that are involved with Davy: Dewey Mulqueen, Mike Deegan and Paul Kinnerk. I suppose 3 men that always have a word to say, something, I suppose, that'll try and bring you along the day and try and get the most out of you. And they are so committed to Clare Hurling and committed to this group and committed to us getting the most out of ourselves, and we genuinely thank you from the bottom of our heart today on behalf of the panel. And finally, I was a young man when I was inside in the stand here in '95 and '97, and Anthony Daly spoke about a manager in charge that was obsessive. And we have a manager in charge, Davy Fitz, and to say that he's obsessive about Clare Hurling and obsessive about winning would be an understatement. He is the most... He's a man, I suppose, that has a certain persona in the media and in papers and things like that. But I can tell you, if any one of these players had to put their life on the line for Davy, it'd be done in the morning, not a problem. He gives everything he has for this county, and we thank him for giving everything that he has. Thank you, Davy. And finally, I suppose to the Cork hurling team, your management team, I suppose, look, we've had unreal games this year so far, not least 3 weeks ago and then today to cap it off again. And look, we are a team that pride ourselves in being honest, pride ourselves in being commitment, and pride ourselves in giving everything we have. And it's brilliant to be met with a team that has the same qualities out there today, and it was just nip and tuck, goal for goal like it was the last day, and just thank you for a great game today. And 3 cheers for Cork. Hip hip! Hip hip! Hip hip! We'll all see you in Ennis tomorrow night!
And you can be sure they'll have some party in Ennis tomorrow night. Davy Fitz, Pat Donnan and all the others taking back the Liam McCarthy Cup to the Banner County. Clare's glorious day, a glorious day for the sport. 2 of the great teams in action, one of the great finals of the past 25 years. Let's go back to Clare.
Davy Fitzgerald, you were there in '95, you were there in '97, and now you have led this incredible young Clare team to victory in 2013. Give us an idea how you're feeling.
It's hard to say how I'm feeling. I'm just so proud of my guys. It's nothing to do with us, it's down to them. Like, we let Cork back into the game, we made it as hard as we could for ourselves, but my God, what character.
Do you know it's going to be your day when a 19-year-old who's a late inclusion on the team scores a hat-trick?
He's an unreal young lad, some talent. But we have a lot of good lads like that, and fair play to him. See Darragh come on at the end and scored a goal to finish it as well.
And it was a goal you needed?
Yeah, we needed that at the end.
I know you're anxious to go and celebrate with your team. Well done, Davy.
Thank you.
Well, Davy Fitzgerald, of course, wants to go and celebrate with his team. And what an incredible journey it is for him. Eddie Brennan, this was the job that Davy Fitz wanted. He wanted, as most guys do, to manage their own county and naturally to manage them to an All-Ireland title. He has achieved that.
Yeah, what a day for Davy Fitz. You know, you'd have to take your hat off to him because, you know, there's pressure attached to that as well. I can imagine it, as you know, and it's the second year and they were beaten in Munster. And you'd have to say, when you get a bunch of players together and you have a management system in place and he gives them, you know, a mandate that he wants them to follow and to see that through, and that's what Davy Fitz has done with these lads. Now, certain people, I suppose, down in Clare weren't overly fond of the game plan that Davy was trying to put in place. But when the players buy into that and buy in completely into what a management is trying to get them to do, give themselves 110% to the system, believe in that no matter what's going on around them, when things go bad, and things were going bad for Clare the last few months, but they have certainly steadied up. The belief in the system has paid off, and today you'd have to say to them, for a young team, they rolled up their sleeves, they got knocked back, they delivered the big punches in the first half, they absorbed everything Cork could throw at them. Cork got it back to level and they just kicked on from there. And even talk about Darragh Conan there, he mentioned him. You know, sometimes when a lad gets dropped like that, he can be feeling sorry for himself. He sprinted onto the field today, got a chance and went in and stuck it in the net. And that's all you ask of your players. Make a contribution, contribute to the team. But fair play to Davy Fitzgerald, you'd have to say, big bull of bus to Davy. He has done it, you know, a lot of people mightn't have felt they would have done it as quick. You know, his second year in, they contested a relegation final in the league, and now they're All-Ireland champions. But, you know, fair play to them.
They're the All-Ireland champions, and an extraordinary thing about the game, Liam, was, and again, I'm going back to the point I made earlier about paying tribute to both teams. Cork got knocked back and back again in the first half, conceded 3 goals, and they still came back to level the game. And then Clare took all of that was thrown at them and responded.
Yeah, it was. It was just like, I mean, for as a spectacle, you just couldn't wish for any better. I mean, sometimes replays don't live up to the original game, the first day out.
We remember last year, 11-point gap.
Yeah, you know what I mean. The game was over when we played out the last 15-20 minutes of the game. But today, and even as you said, Cork, like, you know, Stephen Moylan rattles the back of the net with a minute to go, 2 minutes to go, just in a fantastic goal. And they actually had a half a chance. Seamus Harnedy caught a ball, the pass just broke down. They could have been back level, and up they go and they get a goal at the other end of the field. But like, full credit to Clare. I think over the course of it, you know, I know Eddie was playing today. I think he learned a huge amount during the year. I mean, I for one would have been critical of their short passing at times, especially in the first round semi-final. But they corrected that, and you know, they learned, and they had numerous wides, and again they got their wides down into single figures again today. So I think he's learned a lot over his management career. He's fully deserving of his day in the sun with this Clare team. And I can tell you one thing to all the other counties out there: this Clare team are around for a while, and I see Brian Cody there, picture of him in the stand. Yes. They'll need to start plotting a long time out for this Clare team, because they're just an exceptional bunch of others. To score 5-16 on the biggest day of all in Croke Park, 31 points after getting 25 points the last day. They have no fear, they have no inhibitions, they just go and play. And they played really, really well today and are fully deserving. But I would spare a thought for Cork. I thought, you know, they were outstanding contributors to the 2 days. And you know, we're that close. We're 1 minute away from being All-Ireland champions this year. They deserve great credit. And Jimmy Barry Murphy deserves a huge amount of credit for where he's brought this team this year from nowhere. But overall, it's been a fantastic hurling year. I think hurling has been the big winner all season, and obviously Clare are absolutely outstanding All-Ireland champions.
Cyril Farr, your county over in the west would have experienced something like this, in the sense that, you know, Clare won the All-Irelands 95 and 97, and then there's been that gap since. It wasn't quite as long in Galway's case, but then from 1980 to come again in 1987-88, you know, it relit the whole county again for a while.
Yeah, and much with the same kind of a system. A minor team came through in 83 and a controlling team not the same. But what impressed me about Davy's management team is I saw these lads playing Waterford Crystal early on. And young O'Donnell was below playing with Cork first year UCC, and he had him playing full forward. He was very light. He said, I could make a great forward out of this fella. I happened to be at a funeral last week. John Connolly's father passed away, big age, Paddy Conley. Right, yes. And we're chatting afterwards, and of course, there's all hurling. And he said, he's going very well in training. I knew what he meant, and Derek had a kind of an injury. And he said, I think I have a system up out. But David brought into systems, but like, just to see that young fella fulfilling that potential. And even earlier last year, you talking about Tony Kelly. He said, I have a new breed of a centre forward that's said to cover the whole pitch. He was thinking of Tony Kelly and Podge Collins. Like, as Liam often said, they're the kind of the new type. If you watch Tony Kelly moving, like, he'd glide around the pitch, he's mentally had a Graham, and he hasn't got 3 points. They'll kind of pop up everywhere. They're the new type. They're unusual for Clare in the sense that their ability to cruise around everywhere and get great scores and great skill. Now, the team of Clare that won the All-Irelands had great skill as well, but they were a forceful, physical team. This team is more like kind of light foot, body swerve and movement the whole time. And you know, they're a team, if they're minded, they're a team of the future, because there's a lot of young lads that are just on the edge of that panel that are quite good as well. I think like Paul Flanagan, these fellas, Shane and Morey, come on, these lads, Nicky O'Connell, these lads are bursting, Tots O'Connell, they're bursting to get on, but you know, they can't get on because, like, with the lads, Shane Morey would be on, he was on earlier on, got injured, and by the time he came back in, the team was settled. And you saw what Derek Conan did, like when he came on, got his goal, he'd be disappointed to be dropped, but wasn't fully fit. So, like, you know, Conor McGrath probably saved today. He's back from injury from last year. His best game, I'd say, by a mile today when he came back on it.
What's really amazing, I think, about Clare is that they didn't let their inhibitions or their heads didn't drop at all from the drawn match, that they kept their focus. They obviously were able to stay very, very positive, and there was probably a sense in the county maybe they left it behind them, and they were able to keep that at bay, which is a brilliant sign of a team, very mature for a young team, and I'm sure Davy played no small part in that as well. But listening to him as well, even in some of the interviews up to today, you know, Colin Ryan talking about how relaxed they done and how that they stay nice and relaxed, and that Davy brought them away for a weekend just to get them switched off from it. In fairness to him, you know, he ticked the boxes.
Well,
he got it right.
He was telling me that last weekend they had a great session on a Friday, looked very sharp.
Yes.
And went for a bit of golf on a Saturday, and on Sunday they looked flash, which can happen. And he had training arranged for Tuesday, Thursday, and he said, I'm thinking of it. He said, I've scrapped the Tuesday, Thursday just doing Wednesday. He just felt that they were going to be flat. All he was hoping was that he had them fresh, that he knew they could hurl. And like, you get a feeling for a team. Now, Jim Barry Murphy do the very same thing. They still play very well, but like, these are new kids on the block. Remember, Clare haven't won 30 titles. They haven't won that many, you know. So like, they'll be hoping to drive on with the under-21 team coming through. Now, you know, mine has been pushed on. They'll be hoping to win 2 or 3. But like, the captain showed Brian Cody there, and like, you know, sure, he'd be smiling, he'd be saying, "It's fair play," and he'd love hurling, but he'd be plotting for next year, you know. Like he has new selectors in this year, and the Gary is in, who I think could be a top coach yet. Like, he's big into the coaching. There isn't a hurling in the country James McGarry doesn't know, and like I'd say he's grooming for down the future. But these are the team of the future. Okay, Cork will be disappointed tonight, but it's hard to believe. One night I saw them playing in 6 Mile Bridge, and Michael, it would freeze you above it in February. I mean, freeze you. Half the Cork team didn't get there. There was an Isle spillage, which was a great, very, very skillful hurling. The wind up playing to see who stood up in Division 1, and then the wind up in the All Ireland. It's an unbelievable fairy tale for both counties. I know now Cork will be disappointed, but over the whole year, it's been a fantasy story for both Clare and Cork where they came from.
And the thing about it is, Liam, you know, Cyril's been saying that this is a young team and they could be around for a while, and we've been saying the same thing in the football with Dublin. You know, they could dominate football for quite some time, but you never know. So you take these when you get them.
Oh, listen, to get up these steps is not an easy thing to do, you know. And like when you go back down the bottom of the hill again next year, they're all waiting for you. You know, you're all inside in the big pack again, and like there's no one won't look forward to drawing. Like the draw's on next week, and everyone, whoever they draw in Munster will say, they'll be licking their lips saying, "Bring it on," you know. Because now everyone, that's the thing, everyone wants a piece of the champions, and that's the beauty about hurling. But I mean, you go back over this year, you had Limerick winning Munster for the first time in a long time. You had Dublin winning Leinster, and you've Clare All-Ireland champions. And I suppose the one team you would have a huge amount of sympathy for is Cork, because they played in the Munster final, played in the All-Ireland final, and at the end of the year they have no medal to show for it. Which is very disappointing for them. But in fairness to the banner, I thought, like, in Conor McGrath and Shane O'Donnell were just outstanding today. Like, that end of the field, that's really where they got a grip in the game. Tony Kelly yet again chips in with 3 wonderful points, and again I suppose maybe underestimated the fact that they lost, but Brian Murphy went on to Podge Collins today. Podge Collins has to me been an outstanding player all year, and full credit to Brian Murphy. He actually took him out of the game today, and Podge Collins ended up being taken off. But that was a day where it didn't happen for Podge Collins today, and Shane O'Donnell and Conor McGrath step up. And that's what they have in Clare. If one guy isn't coming to the plate, another guy steps in. And as I said, outstanding team, outstanding champions, and you know, it's going to be test everyone to get to the level that Clare are at right now.
And that is the mark of champions, isn't it, Eddie? But Liam just said that a day where 1 or 2 things go wrong for you, maybe a player that's expected to have a key role in it, and somebody else comes along and does it instead.
Yeah, that's the I suppose the seesaw really of All-Ireland final day. It can work out for you one day. You know, you take Conor Ryan the last day, absolutely brilliant, and you know, nice and solid again today. But Conor McGrath, for me, was a fella, I'm a big fan of his all year long. I felt he was waiting to take off all year. He's a goal scorer, and today his work rate first and foremost was absolutely phenomenal. The hooks and blocks, he followed Cork lads halfway down the field, dispossessed them, and he got his reward at the end. He got a great goal. But just going back to what Liam was saying there about it's a long way down to the bottom of the hill, for anyone that's beaten on a day like today, it makes those dreaded winter nights, you know, you're just going, oh, the thoughts are going backwards. For the Clare boys now, it'll be very easy. Bring them lads back in training next year. There's a pep in your step. There's a massive confidence now in their game, especially a young team that will grow and grow on the back of that. But for Cork, you know, they're going to have to lick their wounds for a little while, and they just go back to the rest of them. the also-rans this year and have to start from scratch again.
All right, let's hear from the Cork manager, Jimmy Barry Murphy. He is with Clare McNamara.
Jimmy, tough place to be. What have you said to the players in there?
Well, I just thank them for their efforts for the year. They've been fantastic for me and for the management team, and they've done the county proud over the whole year. And there's no disgrace in me beaten by Clare, who are a superb team. And I said to them, we'll take our beating like men now and move on and try and get back here again if we can.
Yet another incredible final. What more could you have done?
Well, we could have won, but at the end of the day, I've got to acknowledge Clare, a superb team, deserved their victory over both days, and I can't. But we, a great praise of them for the way they played and the kind of hurling they played were fantastic, I thought. And our lads did us proud. We were 8 points down. We got back to level it, but I suppose over the 2 days when you're playing catch up both days, you eventually don't get away with that. And they got some great scores when they really needed them, and it just, as I said, full credit to Clare.
Yeah, you were chasing it, but with that period of second half dominance, did you feel that you could push on and win it?
Yeah, I suppose you could look at it when we got back to level or near enough. We had a number of very, very good chances which didn't go our way today. But I just think that when you're chasing a game as much as we were, one slip at that stage and it kind of caves in you again. I think that's what happened to us today.
And he was in the mix though right up until the end. I mean, just 3 points in it.
Oh yeah, I mean the last goal just rounded off from Clare's point of view. But as I said, our lads fought to the last second. There's nothing more that we could have asked of them. They were absolutely brilliant, and I'm very, very proud of them, and they're credited themselves.
It's been an incredible journey for this team. I suppose if you look back to the springtime relegation from the league, few would have predicted you would even be here.
That's right, and we've had some great occasions, and I suppose we lost the Munster final, which was disappointing as well. But we had a couple of great days here, beating Kilkenny and beating Dublin again. So it's hard road today for the lads. It's tough for them, but as I said, we'll take our defeat like men now and move on.
Okay, congratulations. Thanks for talking to us, Jimmy.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks indeed to the Cork manager. We will have more reaction and analysis when we return from this break. Now, before we go there though, it is competition time here on the programme. Flights to Abu Dhabi and €1,000 spending money when you get there. Well, it's a nice end to the season, and here's how you can enter.
We've teamed up with
So Clare are the All-Ireland Hurling Champions for 2013, their first title in 16 years. This evening here at headquarters, they have beaten Cork on a scoreline of 5 goals and 16 points to 3 goals and 16 points, in front of an official attendance 82,276. Eddie Brennan, Clare led this game by 4 points at half-time. But in fairness to Cork, they came out, I don't know what Jimmy Barry Murphy said to them at half-time, but it certainly had an effect. They came out, tore into it in the second half, brought themselves back into contention, and then Seamus Harnedy got a very important goal for them.
Yeah, they were absolutely brilliant. When you look at 15 minutes before half-time, they outscored Clare. Clare only scored a point in that time, and even for the first 10 minutes of the second half. But Conor Lehan done everything brilliant. They caught that right on the meat, absolutely on the sweet spot, and Harnedy just skidded along the ground. You can see Patrick Kelly just... It's creeping away from, but this is you won't get a sweeter strike. Donald O'Donovan to the rescue again there, got his body in the way, and it looked as if at that stage Cork were coming at the right time, and Clare were just under pressure. And we were saying it outside, Clare need to do something, someone go down, someone break the momentum that Cork had. But just like they done the last day, they absorbed everything that Cork threw at them, and then they came right back into it. They didn't let Cork get ahead, which was a big thing, and most important, they kept their noses in front. And I think the belief that Davy Fitz has probably put into him and that he has instilled in them and that they've realised themselves helped them absorb all that, and they just kicked on from there. I think their fitness levels as well is something that was probably significant. They finished quite strong, and fitness was a big thing for me with Clare all year long. Cork probably had the tank emptied a little bit early, and as a result of that, I think it allowed Clare to bounce back. Their purple patch, they weathered it.
Cork didn't get ahead, but they did get back to level, Liam Sheedy. But then came an important moment in the game when Clare got the goal and then tacked on a very important point.
Yeah, and it was a ball that looked like as if Cork were going to clear it, and all of a sudden Conor McGrath breaks onto it. I mean, he's a lot to do, Michael. He's a long ways out. There's another man calling off it, but I mean, what a finish. Brilliant. I mean, it warranted today. This man today was just on the top of his game. I thought he gave Conor O'Sullivan a torrid time all day long, and that finish is absolutely top drawer. Those type of finishes are ones that are worthy of winning All-Ireland medals. Shane O'Neill was, we
probably thought it was going to be a pass.
And I think every bit as important. And as soon as they got ahead, then to get that 4-point cushion. I mean, Tony Kelly, he's all the time his points are just absolutely out of top drawer stuff. I mean, these right or left, it doesn't matter. This guy, and he doesn't miss too often. He got 3 fantastic points again today.
That was the big thing. It was the first time, I think, all match that the opposition compounded a second score after a big score. Every time there was a goal, the opposition were able to get one. And Clare got another point on top of Conor McGrath's goal, which was significant.
We saw Tony Kelly getting a point there. We're going to talk to him right now. He's with Clare.
Tony, congratulations. What's that now? 2 All-Ireland medals in 2 weeks?
Yeah, I suppose it's something unreal. I suppose unheard of in Clare, and I suppose the under 21 this year. I suppose the people gave us favourite tags from the start, but I tell you, it was tough going, training for both, and the scenes aside there in the pitch, makes it all worthwhile training all year. So happy days.
Incredible scenes. Could you have even thought at the start of the year that this is how it would end up?
I suppose coming in the start of the year, I suppose every player is the same. You wonder where you're going to end up, but with Davey in the backroom team, it's like I remember we played Wexford and we went in before extra time, and he gets told us if we win this extra time, we'll win the All Ireland. And I'd say a few looked around, going, what is he on about? But I suppose the man was right, and it's all thanks to him and his backroom team that Clare are here today, and long may it continue.
There's incredible composure and confidence that this young team has shown all year.
Yeah, look, everyone is saying Clare's a young team, but I suppose when it comes to youth, no fear. I suppose that's why we've been looking at it. Look, we've nothing to lose. Everyone is saying we're young and it'll take time, but I know behind the scenes we were concentrating, and look, the years will go by and you won't win nothing, so we focused on this year and kept the head down, trained hard, and we prevailed as winners. So
today you got up and running again in fantastic fashion. Shane O'Donnell's goals. You were 8 points up at one stage, but you did let Cork right back into the game.
We did, I suppose. Shane O'Donnell, I suppose I was walking in with him and he said he felt sick, he was so nervous. I don't think he found out he was starting until he got in the bus coming into the match, and he said he didn't know what to do, and the first ball went in, he stuck it, and I suppose the next two that followed, he stuck him as well. So look, Shane has been doing that with 21s all year, and we knew inside if he got the ball into him, he's always a goal threat, and he proved out there today he was.
This team, I suppose now we expect so much more for you. Will you dominate for a couple of years to come? Is it too early to start talking about that sort of stuff?
Oh, it's too early. It's too early to talk about that. We'll enjoy tonight, and I suppose enjoy the celebrations for a few weeks, and I suppose we'll put the head back down, 50 levels back down to earth come November or December. So that's all.
Congratulations on your success, Tony.
Thank you very much.
Well, there's absolutely no doubt it has been quite a year for players like Tony Kelly. He was very important to the Clare setup this year, players like him, sir, because at the beginning of the year we saw him play obviously in the league and so on, and he was the kind of player that Clare were building their hopes on, if you like.
He was the kind of player that Davy Fitz was building his hopes on.
True.
In Clare, they'd see him as a wing forward, as a midfield. Most of us would. But like in the college world, he put him centre forward and he gave him the licence to roam. He would often dip out midfield. Centre back might follow him, then there's a big hole. Centre back says, okay, he'll clear the hot ball, but if you pin Tony with the ball, then he'll tap it over as left or right. This guy's kind of like poetry in motion. He's capable of hitting left, capable of hitting right from deep and from long. And he's the kind of, if you look at him, he's kind of gliding out on top of the ground. He doesn't actually sprint, you'd imagine. He's kind of, he's moving the whole time. They're the new breed. Now you have Podge Collins there like that, Cathal McInerney came on, like Shane O'Donnell, he was on early on the year, got injured, Podge came on couldn't get back on the team when Podge made such an impression. Then Derek Conan is injured. And you have the likes of Tots O'Connell, there's other lads there hooving around that just cannot get in. There's a lot of young breed coming out. I know they're all saying they could be there for a good while, but as Don Ger looked at before, and he was saying they're a young team, but the sooner they win, the better for Clare. And then they're not they're not the young team anymore. He wanted them to win the way they could kind of say, here we are now, drive on now.
Yeah.
Like, it's unheard of. Like, as he referred there, like, when did Clare or any lot of us win an under-21 or Clare never did see it in a senior title in the one year?
Yes.
Usually you'd be happy with a title every 4 or 5 years to keep you going. You can just imagine what this is going to do for the hurling, for the youth of Clare again. Now they're doing a very lot. They went down to Kilkenny, studied their system, doing a lot right at underage. But you have these kind of young lads coming up. I keep referring back to Shane Morey. Well, he got a few minutes there to see, but like, he's a very brilliant, another kind of guy with electric pace. Like, these fellas are kind of athletes as much as anything else. You have a few other lads thrown in, like Pat Donlan, even though he's only in his mid-20s, will be kind of seen as senior status now, and Keane Dillon. But the other fellas are very, very young. There's only a few of them bring the age up high. But even when we look at the subs that came on, like Cathal McInerney's come on. He referred there to the Wexford match. They could have been caught in the Wexford match.
That's right.
They've run a few lads. He went to extra time. McInerney came on and he got 2 or 3 goals. And that's the type. Some other lad is stepping up every day. Now it's hard to make the first 15. It's hard to keep everyone happy on a panel of 33 or 4. Only about 24 or 25 or 6
yes.
on the team sheet. But like, he has them in that. Now he has them in the frame of his hand. So now you can question his tactics if you want to, but he can say, look at the proof of the pudding.
Nobody in Clare has questioned tonight. There's no doubt about that. They're all very good tonight.
Yeah, but like, you know, Liam has been down here. He'll tell you there's a lot of them were ready to shoot him as well. That's part of it, like, but they can't do it tonight, and he won't listen to them anyway.
I know, true. Liam, players dream about winning All-Irelands, dream of playing well in that Ireland final. Shane O'Donnell couldn't have dreamt of the performance that he had today in this final.
Yeah, and I think after what Tony Kelly said, I think the managers will be going back to picking the team on the bus. I think it might be the best approach from now on if this guy who was told he was playing when he got onto the bus. And I mean, look, he was just outstanding today. But, you know, all year he's been doing that. In fairness to him, he has that eye for goal. I remember talking to Anthony Daly after they played Dublin in the challenge, and he said this Shane O'Donnell, he said, is one for this year. He said all he wants to do is score goals, and how right he was today. But in fairness to Pat Donnell, I mean, a fantastic run, fantastic pass, and you need a finisher at that stage. And likewise, again, you know, I thought, you know, Conor McGrath, they were very good. All the time today, they were thinking team. And as soon as the ball goes in, he hangs it up on the back of the net. You know, in fairness, you know, excellent play. And like, as I said, you know, Cork, poor defending, but, you know, the chances still had to be. He had a lot to do, two lads bearing down his neck, and he bats it into the back of the net. You know, as I said, he was outstanding. And again, when the ball comes up, you know, great score again. He got a score off his right and his left. And this was a vital stage where Clare needed a score. I mean, to walk off the field with 3-3 today is outstanding. And what I actually found every bit as amazing is, like, you know, he was told to come out and let in Dara Conan with 5 minutes to go, and he just ran off the field. Yeah. There was no sulking, there was no throwing the head. He felt that he had his job done for his Clare team, and he walked out and he gave Dara Conan that. That's a sure sign that you have a panel that's together, that they're willing to die for each other, and I thought it was an important signal. Another guy, you'd see him firing the helmet and the hurley into the dugout saying, why are you taking me off? They were together. They had one job to do today, winning All-Ireland, and they've done it.
I suppose, Eddie, if you're after scoring 3 goals and 3 points, you'd be saying, take me off quick before I do something wrong.
Well, that's the thing, I suppose. They had to let him off to go collect his Man of the Match award, but what a performance. I mean, when you're a young fella growing up, you just dream of stuff like that. I mean, everybody craves to get up the steps, to play, to do all the, and as a forward you just crave a rattle in the net. And, you know, Lara done it here a few years ago, got 3 goals. You know, I know what it's like to be part of a winning team, and it's just all your boyhood dreams fulfilled. And for him to get on the bus today and find out, said you're playing, you're in. We knew, we had heard whispers that there was a good chance he was going to come in, but what a performance. And the very first ball we seen there, where he put the point over the bar, he signalled his intent straight away. He was going to take on Shane O'Neill at every opportunity.
If he didn't know it, a lot of other fellas, I think, around Clare probably knew it. Fair play to Cork. Even when it looked like they were finally put down by Clare, they came back in the last few minutes. Stephen Moylan got a goal, and there was hope there for another minute or two for them.
Anything could have happened. Like Stephen Moylan, he's doing this a lot. He's a real poacher. This ball comes in high. You know, there's confusion, everything goes in high. They've not done. Park Corner gets it here. Little flick across here. But look at this. Turns on his left side, and that wouldn't be his brilliant side, but like just bang. Doesn't look back at the net. And next thing, Cork are only 3 points down. So, like, they were back in the game again after everyone saying, well, the game is, nothing else can happen. There's only 3 points between it. And then, of course, Dara Conan comes on and he does his tennis racket trick again. Yeah. Clare must have been practicing that, because it's noticeable when they were bottled up, they were all flicking down on the same tune.
Liam, let's take a breather. Let's reflect on this year's hurling championship. It's been a pretty good one.
It's been an outstanding championship. I mean, for anyone from Clare or Cork, I mean, they've got so much value for money from their 2 teams. And I mean, look, at the start of the year, all of us sitting here would have probably said, look, Kilkenny, Galway and Tipperary, they're the 3 front-running teams, and let's see who else can get in. But, like, it was definitely a season of change. And, you know, a change is always good from a hurling context. I mean, you know, the kids in Limerick, the kids in Dublin.
It's great for television as well.
Yeah. But the kids in Limerick and the kids in Dublin, you know, got a great day out as well. And obviously the kids that are following Cork and Clare, they've had 2 tremendous Sundays here. And, like, they're following heroes. I mean, we've got new heroes in the hurling championship from this year. As I said, it's been an outstanding championship. I
want to ask a Kilkenny man who was part of that team that dominated hurling, Eddie, for the last 10, 12 years, whatever it has been, which was an incredible, and we will look back, and we've often said this, we look back in years to come and feel privileged that we were here to witness what you guys did. But it's the other side to that then, dominating the game by so much, you know, that this year Kilkenny were out of the mix for the latter part of the season, and the whole thing changed.
Yeah, it did. It opened up the door, and you know,
Kilkenny people secretly feel it's been good for the hurling.
Actually, look, you have to, as in, no matter what you say, we're hurling people. We love hurling, and you have to take your hat off and admire. I mean, no matter what, they're the lads you want to beat when you're on the field. But you do admire. You have to have admiration for other players. You have to have targets. You see the team that's on top, and you want to outdo them. And that's the beauty of today. You know, we saw Brian Cody sitting up there. Every other team will be plotting and planning now. They're seeing what Clare have done, and that's always the benchmark. The All-Ireland champions are the benchmark. But the reality is, for Clare now, they should go off and celebrate that. They'll go and have a massive club club championship below her. There'll be huge interest in it, big crowds, and it'll bring them back nice and fresh for next year. But it's just it's the start of it, but there is no guarantees either. You know, different teams have had their time where they've come along, but I think this bunch of players are definitely in for a couple of All Irelands. You know, Davy is a level-headed enough a fella, you know.
You're smiling when you say that now.
Before the match, he obviously has his game face on and he's tuned in. But you know, I guarantee you, Davy will certainly enjoy it. Cyril knows him quite well. He'll enjoy that. But I guarantee you, he won't get too high about it. He'll be plotting and planning for next year. He'll turn around now in the middle of November, maybe even sooner, and he'll be back looking forward to next year. There's new challenges ahead. That's what he'll be looking forward to in a big way. He
certainly will. And a final word to Cyril. I suppose slightly different as well, Cyril. The Liam McCarthy Cup will be heading out there on a Sunday.
Yeah,
tomorrow.
It'll be. Listen, the crowds in Innes, when they get down there tomorrow, will be unbelievable, because you're going to have half a Limerick in as well and half a Galway. They'll all go there because they know that's where the crack is on. It'll take over. It'll probably last a week at least for that, you know. But that's what you want. Like, the Irish people love sport. And like, to me, the greatest sport of all, we saw it out there. We played, 140 minutes. I suppose Cork only led for 30 seconds in that 140 minutes. So
true,
overall, you have to say the best team won. But you saw a fantastic championship. But the two finals have been unbelievable, because usually the replay isn't as good at all. And like you're talking there about Fitzy, like, he's going to try something different. He loves little, what would you say, ski kind of methodology kind of plans. He had a sweeper back this year. Like, most people in Clare now wouldn't be too sweet on a sweeper. Didn't know what it was earlier on. He played him. The last day they were saying to him, when he lost or didn't lose a draw, they were saying, why didn't he bring back the sweeper? And I was saying to him, well, Dublin did that against Kerry, did that against Dumfries, and they were caught. So, like, you know, if you win, you're perfect.
That's what I was saying earlier on. When you win, everything is right. Okay, well, so there, lads, we come finally to the end of another eventful season in Gaelic Games in terms of championship. However, not quite done with it all in terms of our coverage here on RT television, because here is what we have coming up for you. Later on, I will be at the Winners Hotel for more reaction to tonight's game, and we'll also announce the Man of the Match award on our special Saturday game programme, and that starts at 9:30. Then tomorrow night, Des Cahill will have all of the best of the action from the ladies' football finals, as well as more reaction to tonight's game, and the panel will also pick their hurling team of the year. 9:30 tomorrow night. And of course, no sooner than one season ends, well, the next one is about to begin. The draw for the 2014 championship in both hurling and football is live on Thursday night, and that's at 7 o'clock, also here on this channel. So it has finally been decided. It's been an epic battle, but the Liam McCarthy Cup is heading tomorrow for its new home, Shannonside. Cyril Farrell, Liam Sheedy, Eddie Brennan have been here with me in studio for this hurling championship conclusion. I hope to see you later on for more on tonight's hurling final replay. Until then, bye-bye.
And in the middle of the night, I may watch you go. There'll be no value in the strength of walls that I've grown. There'll be no comfort in the shade of the shadow's throne. But I'd be yours if you'd be mine.